So I recently broke my hand, more on that later, but because of this, changing has been quite annoying. So to save time, just get a... Alright, there we go. It feels so good to be back to vlogging in like this setting, because you know, in my past few videos that I've been doing recently, I've been following this type of style where I've kind of just been where I would capture a lot of the A-roll and B-roll of whatever the situation is, whatever story I'm telling, and then just do all the commentary at home in my studio setting where everything is scripted, and then I have all my lighting and everything. And I like those videos too, but there's a certain authenticity that you get from vlogging, just, you know, bringing the camera with you and talking to it. It feels good to bring that back into my life. I don't know, I've missed it, and I really want to go back to doing videos sort of more like this. Is kind of more challenging as a filmmaker to be telling a story kind of just as the day goes, and I like that I'm getting back to that and applying a lot of what I've learned in the past year or two, doing these videos and other scenarios that I've been working in videography. But anyway, in terms of today's topic and today's video, I really want to talk about I want to talk about a few things. I will talk about how I broke my hand and all that, and that's kind of like, that's really, I feel like, more of a minor discussion. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I'll get into that. I really want to talk about how my daily life has changed fairly significantly over the course of this year. I'm sure that it's changed for a lot of us due to COVID and different events this year, some for better, some for worse. Some of us have felt minor changes to just wearing a mask to go shopping, or not being able to, you know, having improvised to maintain practical daily life through different challenges, primarily from financial challenges and employment and what have you. But I want to focus more on how my lifestyle has changed pretty significantly, in terms of how I've adapted to what's happened, and also kind of how my perspective and priorities have changed quite a bit. And I think the best way to explain that is to go over time management. I think that's a really important skill to develop, pretty essential in life, you know, especially professionally, and maybe if you want to feel more in control of your life, I guess. Anyway, for right now, you know, I'm at work. Also, forgive me if the sound quality isn't as good as it normally is. I'm in a very big office where I feel like I've complained before about how this office is. I don't know if I complained about it before in the vlog, but like, this building is completely like cement with no air conditioning. I mean, we have air conditioning, but not built in. And it's basically built like a garage, but the ceiling, I swear, is about 15 feet high. Like, it's a stupid high ceiling, so there's a ridiculous reverb in this building. Like, just look how high. I'm not sure I can put in perspective how high this ceiling is, but it's high. I think I have a good way I can describe this. So first of all, I'm not the tallest guy. I'm like 5'7", 5'8" on a good day. I'm Latin, I'm not very tall. I'm like 5'7", all right? I'm gonna go stand by the door just to demonstrate, okay? So here I am in front of the door. The door has like a solid extra 2-3 feet on me. No, easily like a solid 3 feet on me. So this is probably like a 7 to 8 foot door. Pretty tall door, but nothing insane. It says 7 to 8 feet on a door is fairly tall, but it's not like, you know, like a Grand Palace fucking door. Like, it's not massive, but so like I said, the door is like 7 feet easily, 7 to 8 feet, and then you have all of that wall. That's like an additional easily 6, maybe 7 feet. So this room has to be at least 15 feet tall. Has to be right about 15 feet. So you can imagine 15 feet high cement walls, and you have this ridiculous reverb in this building. So right now, yeah, I'm at work. The plan for right now is obviously I'm working, but due to one, broken hand, two, likely really slow. It's a Monday morning at the swim and tennis facility, so I'm likely going to be focusing a lot of work on doing some editing and a little bit of a preparation in terms of schoolwork. So hopefully get to work on that, and then we'll really dive in more in terms of plans and priorities when I get home after work at around at 3 this afternoon. Also, I am getting surgery tomorrow on this hand. Luckily, it's just my hand. It's not like my wrist or my arm that's broken. It's just a bone in my hand. But that's the plan for right now. I'll kind of dive a little bit more when I see you guys at home. Yeah. All right, and we're back home, and the light from this, the sunlight is peering through my window perfectly right now. It's about 5:15. Yeah, I got home earlier. I just decided to take a nap and have something to eat before jumping back into this. So yeah, I want to delve a little bit deeper in terms of what I'm applying to my routine. So I have this routine that I've applied to just about every afternoon that I come home from work, or I'll do it in the morning on days that I don't work. And it's all focused on very specific goals I have that I set for myself for this year, and just in general, in order to better myself mentally and physically. And it's just been my way of establishing habits to make small actions daily in order to achieve my goals. As I was saying earlier, I feel like it's really important to have objectives in your life and in your day-to-day. And I know that everyone has objectives. There's always a fire to put out. You always have something that you have to do, whether it's school or if it's work or family. You have your priorities, and everyone has that. I understand that. But it's different when you give yourself priorities, or if you have certain objectives that you volunteer for. It's easy to just go about life the way it comes at you, and just kind of just go in whatever direction the universe blows you, or however you want to define it. That you're going through the motions, and I'm not saying that by going through the motions in life that you're not working hard. You can be working really hard and still be going through the motions because you don't really know how to really organize your time and your energy in order to really maximize it. See, I'm a really big believer that success is defined by how well you utilize your resources. And time is your most valuable resource. Everyone gets the same amount of time. No one gets extra hours in the day. No one gets extra days in the week. We all get the same amount of time. It's just a matter of using it wisely. For every minute you plan, an hour is earned. Basically, by deciding on how you're going to use your time, you can more wisely utilize it. Because naturally, as humans, we have a tendency to go about activities, go about spending our time and just going about life based on how we feel. You know, I don't feel like going to the gym, or I don't feel like writing or journaling right now. I don't feel like reading. I'd rather just chill and just watch TV. And sometimes you need that, but I feel like we often abuse that lifestyle and it becomes routine to just sit and do nothing at times when you don't have work to do, or you don't have priorities, rather than seeing how you can more wisely utilize your time so that way you can eventually really earn that time and have more of that time to relax, rather than just using your time randomly as you get it. Instead, you can plan time to rejuvenate and then utilize extra time that you have. So my general strategy for time management, and I can probably dive into this more in a separate video just focused on time management and my methods and tips for doing it. If you guys want, maybe I can do like a top 5 list or whatever in a more organized video rather than a vlog. Just a quick way that I approach it is basically in your schedule, you have your rocks, you have your pebbles, and you have your sand. Your rocks are the things you can't really move, really important priorities. You know, you have your work, your school, really specific appointments that can be moved, really important priorities that cannot be moved. Those are your rocks. So those are the things that are regularly in your schedule that typically are not going to change. Your pebbles are the things that still hold some importance, but you can move them around a little bit. You know, you can do this before you go to work, or after you go to work, or before or after school. A really good example of that is like your workouts, or time you might want to spend reading or journaling or planning. You know, it doesn't matter exactly when you do it as long as you know what's going to get done. It's still a significant priority, but it's not absolutely important when you do it. And then you have your sand, which is pretty much things that can be moved around entirely. This is typically your downtime, because it's not a very significant priority. It's time that you're going to get at some point, so you can kind of move it and sift it around as you want. Now, every now and then you get gaps in between your rocks and your pebbles and your sand. You know, different moments of time where you don't have anything planned. If you were to look at a planner planned out for every hour and every day. Now, I'm not saying you have to plan every single minute of every single day, but those 15 to 30 minute to hour long gaps in between work or school or going to the gym or reading or meditating, you know, those significant and somewhat significant priorities, gaps in between those gaps or traps, that's time that is essentially wasted because you don't know how you're going to use it. You're gonna just use it however you feel like using it. And that could be, I mean, it can be anything. It's time wasted because it's not time planned. And so that's kind of the time where you want to find something to do. Maybe there's like an extra pebble or a little bit of sand you can squeeze in there. Maybe that is a time to rejuvenate and just sit and watch a YouTube video or something, have a snack. Or maybe it's a good time to journal or listen to a podcast and feed your mind a little bit. Maybe do some meditation. Maybe you're applying a new habit. Maybe you need to do a quick chore, run a quick errand, and you can squeeze it into that little area. Or maybe you have an appointment you can squeeze in. Maybe you should call someone. Maybe you should call your parents or your grandparents or something, and that's a window of time you might want to squeeze that in. You know, a little bit of pebble or sand in there. The moment you can look at that and recognize that, the more you can actually utilize that time and thus make the most out of your resources there. But I'm also speaking pretty generally when I said I was actually going to dive into how I'm actually applying it to my everyday life. So as I said earlier today, you know, I had to go to work. That's my rock. See, I'm applying what I just went over. On most weekdays, I really just have work in the morning between 7 or 8 to around 3 p.m. Sometimes later, like 4. That's my rock. Then my main priorities that I like to throw in terms of my routine that I'll do either in the morning before class or in the afternoon after work, because I'm not a morning person. I'm not willing to wake up at 5 a.m. to get these things done because I'd rather get work done later in the evening. I'm kind of more of a night owl. So either in the morning or in the afternoon, I set aside an hour to just read and meditate. that's kind of a habit I picked up while in quarantine, to really spend time on myself, to really feed my mind and really become more content with being by myself. As I said earlier, I don't really like spending a lot of time by myself. I get really bored really easily. I like to stay busy with several different tasks at once. And so a lot of times when I'm by myself, I run out of things to do. I get bored, and then I get sad. So I started reading. I spent a lot more time reading and meditating, become more content with being by myself, and also being more productive while I'm being by myself. Really just being content with that time the way that I like being content with time. Because aside from that, the only time I would spend by myself is when I'm just relaxing, watching TV, or when I'm getting work done, or when I'm getting a workout in or skating. Like before quarantine, that was my only alone time that I would voluntarily have. I had a whole lot more alone time, so I decided to make the habit of reading and meditating every day. So I specifically do an hour. That typically gives me enough time to read one chapter of a paperback or hardcover book. So I always have one physical book and one audiobook. Right now I'm reading Golden Sun. It's a second installment in the Red Rising series by Pierce Brown. It's like a new sci-fi dystopian fiction. Pretty intense stuff. It's definitely not like the Maze Runner and Hunger Games books I read in middle school and high school. Nothing against those books, but like this is good stuff right here. If you're into some real like thrilling sci-fi with some really intense lore and really graphic imagery. So I'm reading that. I typically do a chapter of that a day. Then I sit and meditate for 10 minutes. And then in terms of my audiobook, right now I'm reading How to Talk to Anyone, little tips and tricks on how to talk to anyone. Basically just a really good personal growth book focused more on really building your charisma and how to talk to anyone, pretty important skill. And then I'm also, normally I only read 2 books, but right now I'm kind of doing a third one. It's a graphic novel. I'm reading Seconds by Brian Lee O'Malley. He's the writer of the Scott Pilgrim series. Scott Pilgrim is one of my favorite graphic novels of all time. And I read Seconds around this time last year, and it was great. And I kind of stumbled upon it while looking through my books, seeing what I wanted to read next. And I decided I want to go ahead and reread it. I'll typically read that in the evening once I'm done with my work for the day. But that's my reading meditation time. I spend about an hour on that a day, either in the morning or in the evening, or either in the morning or in the afternoon. And then I typically work out 5 to 6 days a week. Normally, I would do different muscle groups, doing more of like a bodybuilding type regimen with a little bit of powerlifting worked in. But due to my recent injury, I've not been able to do any lifting. So instead, I've recently been doing a lot more running. So I think I'm gonna go for another run today. So I'll take you guys along on that. But those are the 2 primary pebbles that I've added to my schedule in order to focus on my personal growth. I would normally also spend 30 minutes journaling at the end of every day, but now I can't really do any journaling, so that kind of sucks. In terms of planning, I do use a paperback planner, but I also use this app called Chipper. Great app if you want to have a virtual planner. But anyway, right now, I'm going to go ahead and do my reading and meditation, read a chapter of Golden Sun, do about 10 minutes of meditation, and then I think we're gonna go for a run. Oh, also I said I was gonna explain what happened with my hand, right? So basically, while I was doing my normal workout routine that you would see today if my hand wasn't broken, I was doing like an ab and shoulder workout, adding some cardio, and I typically do some jumping jacks and track jumps into those workouts that I do at home, trying to avoid going to the gym as much as I normally would, simply for health reasons, for the sake of COVID. I know that things are changing, and I want to stay positive and hopeful, but I also want to be careful. So I was doing jumping jacks, right over here, just going. And as I was about to run into my next set, I swung into the desk. This lovely desk that I built in the, Staying Productive in Quarantine video. I was running into my next set, and I guess I swung into it like this. and I ended up breaking my 4th metacarpal. That's this bone that runs right along here under the ring finger. Here's the X-ray. It's a shaft fracture. Wasn't too bad. I ended up meeting with a specialist, a surgeon, and he said that, you know, it could heal on its own the way it is. The only thing is I would no longer have a knuckle on my ring finger. It'd be slightly, you know, it will be a slight deformity that can potentially affect my grip slightly. Nothing that big of a deal. It's kind of a cosmetic issue and a minor performance issue, but as someone that does a lot of writing and drumming and lifting, I didn't want to take any limits or any chances, so I'm gonna go ahead and get the surgery tomorrow. It should be it should be a closed surgery, pretty simple, where they can just snap it back into place and put a new splint on. But if it's pretty, well, considering that it's still broken and out of place, if it's a little too out of place, they might have to cut it open and really put it in line. But I'm not too worried about it. It just kind of sucks because it's going to take about 5 to 6 weeks to heal. So that's going to be almost a month and a half I'm going to spend without lifting and properly training my upper body the way I normally like to. My lower body will be fine. I'll be doing plenty of running and might not be doing so much squats because I don't want to mess with any sort of free weights. I just don't want to move anything around with this. But yeah, it kind of sucks that I'm going to spend that amount of time without doing any lifting or writing or drumming. Luckily, I don't have to write for school, and luckily I can still go to work, kind of just working the desk. But yeah, it just kind of sucks, you know. Alright, pretty good reading and meditating session. Now, I think we have just enough time to get a run in before, you know, the sun goes down completely. After that, then plan is to go have dinner with Jeffrey. You guys might remember him, or you might know him better as Hefe the Prophet. You know, common collaborator with Fantastic Production. So we're gonna meet up with him later today, but for right now, gotta get ready for a run, so let's get it. Really hard to do this with my broken hand, but so I don't really know how far I'm gonna be able to run because I ran yesterday and I don't think I ever ran 2 days in a row before, as I normally do lift. I normally do strength training. So see how I feel after the first mile. I can normally do the first mile running nonstop, but I'm also limited on time due to daylight, but I'll see how far I can get. All right, so just got the first mile, or almost like mile and an eighth now, but was able to run through the whole thing. I'm feeling all right. I'm not feeling as good as I was after the first mile as I was yesterday, but I think I can handle another mile for sure. Maybe we can do 4 miles today. I'm not totally certain yet. Let's see how I feel after this next mile. But I feel pretty good. I can probably run the next one. All right, I just got back from the run. I only decided to do 3 miles because, for one, it was getting dark. 2, my legs were getting tired. Everything else felt fine. I probably could have kept going if I really pushed myself, but I did run most of the way, so that's kind of an improvement. I tend to take a little bit more time to walk. I don't have the greatest endurance running wise. I'm really more of a lifter, like I said, but I do really want to improve on it. When I get to the point where I can run, you know, 8 to 10 miles a day. I regularly only run 4 or so miles, and that's typically from running once a week, but with this I'll be running a lot more. But I was very frustrated because the other reason why I stopped, aside from it getting dark and mosquitoes coming out because Florida, I stopped because I realized I couldn't film much my run at all since I was using my iPhone. Because my lovely iPhone 7, I know it's outdated, I need to get a new phone. This phone is paid off, so it's only a matter of time before I get it. But man, and I even use Google Photos, so I'm not saving photos on my iCloud and on my phone. I've made so many sacrifices on this phone, and I still do not have enough space just to record 2 minutes, just 2 minutes of footage. It's so infuriating, Apple. But anyway, we need to get ready to go to Jeffrey's place, so I still need to eat and shower, so we'll just make it quick and just Sailor Moon this thing. All right, we're at Jeffrey's place. How you been? Hefe the Prophet.
Oh my god. Hello.
So, we're straight chilling, having some beast churger. Should I have not shown that? I'll cut it out if you want to.
No! You can say spaghetti, first of all. We're going with one. We're eating spaghetti.
Alright. Alright, it's the next day. I have surgery in about an hour. I said I'd check in because I didn't actually end the video exactly. So you know, it's a vlog. You got to end it properly. So thank you so much for watching. Let me know if you get any value out of this, based on what I was talking about in terms of time management and the value around planning around your goals. It's definitely a topic that I'd like to dive a little bit deeper in. I kind of just wanted to establish it and talk about how I've applied it to my life in the daily sense. And with that in context, we'll definitely be seeing a lot more of that with vlogs in the future. I don't know if I'll be going back to daily soon, but it is something that I've really been contemplating that I think I want to try to get back to. I definitely want to go back to vlogging more consistently, like I did before, but I might try to go back to daily. I'm not certain yet, so no promises yet. We'll see. I'll feel it out, and I'll plan accordingly. See if it fits my planner. But yeah. Let me know if you guys got any value out of this in terms of this discussion and time management. How do you guys feel about time management? What's your approach to it? Your approach to planning and journaling, and your approach to planning towards your goals. And what kind of goals do you guys have right now? You know, let's expand this discussion a little bit, because I really want to make this a bit of a reoccurring topic in the vlogs is personal growth. You know, I've said before in my old vlogs, you know, how are you living your life and how can you be living it even better? Let's keep asking ourselves that, right? I did mention before that I was talking about how there was some recent changes in terms of the channel and in terms of Fantastic Productions. Really quick on that. And really, in spite of everything that happened so far in 2020 with COVID, we managed to improvise and plan around it, and we actually were able to increase our revenue by about 1,000% in the last few months. It's been crazy, simply due to collaborating with local creators and artists, and really creating more opportunities for ourselves and others around us, and also creating a new form of income for myself and for the company. So that's really exciting, the growth that we're experiencing right now. Now I'm at the point where I really want to take what I've learned and maintain the growth that we're having in the company, but also apply it to my personal content and apply it here. And as for the channel, I mean, I'm not really changing much. I do want to go back to vlogging, and I do want to apply a lot of topics centered around personal growth and lifestyle. You know, I love the subculture that's developing in this channel with me focusing in product reviews and in videography and photography and fitness. I think I'm gonna keep all of that in here. I just said I'm gonna have some videos where it's kind of just like my talking head type of thing, where I'm doing like a product review or like a commentary type video or movie, or sometimes I'll just do a vlog and I'll just kind of make that part of the vlog depending on what I'm doing that day or what I want to talk about. Hope that makes sense. But anyway, I'm gonna cut it off here. Thank you so much for watching. Wish me luck. I mean, by the time you see this, my hand would already be hopefully healed or healing, but thank you so much for watching. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, you know, all that jazz. And most importantly, have a fantastic day.